He like made it right. If this was, he made it right on the dime, like right before the bell run. He was one of them kids. So you got to get to make it to class.
No, motherfucker's late.
He made it on time to class.
No.
He made it.
We was already live.
I'm here.
We was already live before he popped
We
in.
was already live. Oh, we live. Wait.
Bullshit, because I can see when you go live, mother lover.
You wasn't in.
Not live.
You was not
I was
in.
in here, bro.
No, you
I was
wasn't.
in here, bro. Yes, I was, bro.
I was already pushed live.
I was already here, bro.
We was sitting there waiting.
I want to hear it, bro.
Nope. I don't care what you say.
I was here.
No, you
I was
wasn't.
here. I don't want to hear
You
it. I was
is
here.
late.
I was
Where the
here.
hell you at?
You was not live yet. You was not live yet. I
We
don't want
was.
to hear it.
We already live.
I
We
don't
was
care.
live.
I did.
You was
We
late.
live right now, and I appreciate everybody. And when they do join, but we wasn't live yet. I don't care what you say. So I gotta leave here. You don't.
Yeah.
You're late if
Welcome
you're on time.
everybody
You're on time if you're late.
to the live show. This is how we do it. Y'all know how we do it. When it's live like this, you get some of the most exciting stuff. You get the voice of the hammer, saving the world from far. He's on a mission. Y'all already know how it goes. Because if he's not on the mission, then he can't save the world and his family. You know, like Ben Diesel's like, for family. That's what he's doing. He's like, for family. And he got to save the world. And then Snake's over here, you know what I'm saying? He's still healing. He had a fight with Doomsday or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Doomsday got all into his chest and just messed him up real bad. He was coughing, all that. Still taking hot toddies and stuff like that without kryptonite in it. Therefore, he can, heal and stuff like that. So, but, when two superheroes argue, you get that at the beginning of the show. But anyway, welcome to Primetime Live. I'm your host, Mingo-Dee.
I'm your boy Snake.
And I am the hammer.
Hey. So, we're going to do it big. But in this episode, we're going to still continue on with the series. I'm just going to call it the Countdown. I'm trying to change the name up. We can call it Countdown. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. But anyway, we're going to, if you have been living under the rock, then you've missed one of the biggest premieres of recent, which is The Eternals. And also, if you know anything about the Arrowverse, then I want to ask you a question. Do you know who's the godfather? The godfather of the Arrowverse? Huh? Do you know? We're going to talk about those things today. But starting off, I want to say let's give a condolences to all those people who died at the thing, Travis Scott and all that. So shout out there. I'm saying that because I know we've talked about him on the shows of recent, talked about the game and stuff like that. Not sure he's involved or not, but if he is, we don't agree with violence or anything like that. Get Nerdy is not about that. It's not what we do. Whether you make games or just like we talked about with the people who make Diablo, I can't remember the names right now, but same thing. We don't agree with that type of crazy. So, just wanted to give a condolences to all those people, the families and whatnot, and just to say, just Snakes type crazy, but we're just okay. But we're not. Just letting you know we're not down with that. So just so you know, because I know we put out content with that. So just in case he is this, yes, this is to cover us, but it's also to cover you guys as well. Just let you guys know that we're not about that. You guys shouldn't be about that. So just in case anything comes out and it's like, oh, we're gonna buy more games or watch more movies and things that may have that type of content with that artist, we're not about that, because, that's not what we do. Now, moving forward, let's talk about the Godfather of the Arrowverse. So, I want to talk about Smallville. Now, and you're probably wondering, what's a Smallville? You freaking Gen Zers. You don't know what Smallville is? Go Google it. It's one of the most amazing things since the Incredible Hulk or the Iron Man movies. One of the best things. You should look it up. Smallville was the first big explosion of live action. And I know you're going to be like, well, they have live action shows and TV things that came out before Smallville. But the first live action Superman show or DC show in general, or any show of that matter, that actually took the world by storm and actually got not just a cult following, but a massive following that spanned 10 seasons. And actually it was one of the first superhero shows, live action at that went 10 seasons. I got to keep saying live action because I know you guys are probably going to be like, well, what about the Spider-Man the cartoon, or what about Batman animated series? That's why we're talking about live action. No other live action show did what Smallville did before there was Arrowverse, before there was a Marvel Cinematic Universe, before there was a Netflix or a Disney Plus, as far as bringing out, or I think actually before they actually came to being. And definitely Disney Plus, but I think Netflix wasn't even here yet, or they were at the baby stages. What's so special about this is that when you think about the Arrowverse, when you think about the Arrowverse, you think about how they brought Oliver Queen in and how everything was so gritty and how they had these great stories, more or less, that really had the span of everything, and how they jumped to the Flash and Batgirl and had all these things, but none of that would have been possible without Tom Welling's Small. You find out from the producers, IGN did a piece on it, which I think was very, very interesting. I think it was very good, by the way. Shout out to them, by the way, for doing that. They had some of the showrunners, such as Michael Rosenbaum, I say his name right? Rosenbaum, something. Lex, and you had Tom Welling, of course, and then you had Kristen, the one who played Lana, and then you had the actual guys who produced the show, and they talked about how it started. What a lot of people don't know is that it started from the WB, of all places. The WB was the actual network. And just to give you a little synopsis on that, WB, had a big show running, WB cartoons, Animax, and everything came from that, all that stuff. Then they were starting to shut things down. They would have big competition with UPN. That was we had UPN 21. I had whatever states you're from. UPN, and then they eventually merged, and that's how you have the CW today. But I digress. Going back to it, they were the first of its kind, because before then you just had stuff like Buffy, which was amazing, by the way. Angel, you had I think you had Charm that had a stint on the WB at one point. I think Charm went from CBS to the WB, and it was and then of course all the other shows like Melrose Place 90210, stuff like that. But as far as like action shows, I think even Hercules and Xena had a stint. I could be wrong, but regardless of that, you had those type of shows on there, and those were what people knew. You never had anything as interesting as Smallville. What made Smallville interesting was the characters themselves. One of the things that the producers talked about, I thought was very interesting, was how if you watch something like Buffy, the teenagers technically did what they wanted, right? And all of the parents would seem to be dumb or stupid or never there. Like, your mom's never home, like never home. Like, there's vampires everywhere killing, and your mom's like never home. Like, where is she? What is she doing? And I'm sure they kind of paid homage to that and kind of told you where she was at. But for the majority or the beginning majority of the show, they kind of didn't really tell you what was going on with Buffy. So what was great about Smallville is that they included his parents, just like they did in the comics, but they made them more relatable. They made them younger. They made them extremely involved into Clark's life, and you actually got to see what they could do and everything else, and how they molded this person. Because what's great about Superman is the fact that it's a great adoption story, right? It's like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, my kid's great because he's my blood, or she's my blood, or whatever the case may be. But no one ever talks about what can you do with someone that isn't you. Can you take another kid and for 6, 12, 18 years, raise them and actually install goodness in them and make them great. And this shows that that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. You can't say no. That's what they did. Literally what Martha and Thomas. That's Thomas, right? That's literally what they did with Clark.
I'm sorry, okay? I thought you were talking to me. I thought you were asking what I would do. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Well, you would probably make evil Superman, so no, you don't need to do that because you're probably like,
I wouldn't.
You're probably like, well, no, you wouldn't make. You know what? I'm sorry. You wouldn't make evil Superman. You would make Punisher Superman, and that isn't as bad, but it's still something. You'd be like, well, he's a bad guy. Go burn him up. Okay, good job, kid. And that's you. So
like
no,
I said,
I
would not do that. As rude. I would just take his powers.
Well, that's
They're
even
mine.
ruder. That's even ruder. It used to be a little dumb kid. Well, maybe not dumb, but he used to be a little kid just not doing anything. He needs his powers. Don't take his powers. You can borrow them from time to time.
I need the powers.
You can't take them. You can borrow from time to time until you figure out how to replicate them. But taking them was just rude.
Mine. He don't know what to do with them.
That's why you teach him.
Why would I teach him when I could just do it myself? God, come on. Get with the program here.
Anyway, guys, that was one of the things that was great. And another thing that was great is that how they took in the comics, they played around with Clark's story a lot, and you got to see some flashbacks and some things, whatever. But a lot of things were kept close to the vest as far as WB or, Warner Brothers and DC is concerned as far as Superman, where they knew the entire story or story-ish, or everybody had the ideas. But this is the first time we actually got to see it in live action. And I liked how they did it. They changed some things around later on. But what was great is that we got to see the story of it. And now, one thing that I like that they told is that one thing that bothered me about the show before I saw this docu-piece, I guess if you want to call it that, was the fact that I never understood why isn't it taking him so long to fly? When is he going to get the suit? How come they're not mentioning suit or anything? Then they finally mentioned, they said that it wasn't necessarily a WB approach. It kind of was. WB was really, really like, I don't know if we want to do the whole Superman thing. It's kind of, we got things over here.
No, they intentionally did that. They intentionally made it to where they would never mention him to be Superman, because if they did, then they would have to go down. They felt like if they mentioned he was Superman or did anything along the lines of what Superman was and where, then they would have to stick to the story. So if doing it this way, they have the freedom of doing it their way. So that's why people met at the times that they met. Like the whole team was the way that the team was, is because they had the freedom to make the story their own. And
yeah, you're definitely right. And that's one thing that the producers said. They said what did they call it? They said they had a no fly, no something. They called it was something like that. That was their rule that they made for the show. No fly, no suit or spandex. It was something. It was way more creative than what I'm saying. It was like, it was very catchy, in other words. But that was their rule that they made for it or whatever. And also, they said because of that, it made good storytelling, which I will agree it did at times. So I will say that.
Also, Tom actually refused to wear the suit, so there's that.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily blame him. I mean, honestly, you came from an age where what was the last guy who wore the Superman suit was the dude from Lois and Clark, and that suit just didn't look too well. And then then you saw the Batman suits and everything. I think all of that. If I was growing up during his age, I'd probably be like, I mean, I saw those suits, but I was a kid, so I still wanted to wear them.
They actually have a suit. Like, they have a suit on online that basically like of what he would have looked like. What the suit would have looked like, and it was like no cape and everything. It looked like a tracksuit type thing. Like it looked pretty cool. It was a different Superman suit, but there was also that whole at the time the whole thing about, you know, like everybody thought that playing Superman was a curse because everybody's died that's played Superman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then the other funny thing is that you just learn, not funny, but you just learn a lot of history about it. Just like Snake said about it being a curse, and then also WB just trying to like put a monkey wrench as when it got to like season 4, season 5, and it was getting great, and all the Superman hype came up, and they wanted to make the Superman movie, we know, with that Brandon dude who played, who was on the Arrowverse, by the way, or was at least. Then they were trying to put a monkey wrench in the Smallville show or whatever, because technically us fans wanted Tom Welling to be that Superman, and WB was like, no, we want somebody else ish, or whatever the case may be. But like Snake said, Tom Welling wasn't willing to wear the suit at that time, you know, so, or whatever. Or I don't think he wore it at all, but, you know, I think towards the end he probably would have wore it. But if they would have done it better, maybe. He still didn't want to wear it?
No, he the entire time, all the way up to the end, he refused. He was not going to wear it. But then I think he changed his tune now. Now that because that's another thing. They didn't think it was going to be the way it is now with superhero shows and stuff.
Yeah, him and the dude who played Lex, they were on the podcast. I think Snake talked about the podcast once when they were talking about. He said when Tom Welling was like, "Why is it called the Arrowverse?" And he was like, "Yeah," and Rosenberg was like, "Yeah, why is it called the Arrowverse?" And he was like, "Yeah, it should be like the." I don't know, things like the Smallville verse. They said the Smallverse or something. And it was funny that they said that because they understand the legacy that Smallville did to get there. Because actually, I think this one guy that still works on the Arrowverse that came from Smallville. So it's pretty awesome that you can still see some of the same storytelling designs. And like I said, the CW is a combination of WB and UPN mix. So you still have some of the same people that kind of, I mean, if you really look at some of the stuff, their content is still reminiscent of like old WB, except without cartoons in the morning. Oh, I miss those. But whatever, you know, you're not gonna talk about that. You know, that's a whole nother tangent, a whole nother time. How this world sucks because no cartoons in the morning. You know, Fruit Loops cartoon. You know, Applejack's cartoon. You know, Cocoa Puffs cartoon. Strong world. Anyway, not gonna do that. I digress. So. But I just wanted to talk about that because as Thanksgiving is coming along, you want to watch something that's not something you've seen before. Well, for you Gen Zers, and you want to get into something nostalgic that's still reminiscent of superhero stuff, but not, you know, the stuff that you've seen that's norm. Because of course, you know, Spider-Man's coming out pretty soon, so you kind of like the super awesome action. You'll probably want to check these out. You know, you can go knock on Snake's door and he has the whole set for you, right? Ready for when you walk in. Sit down.
I have the whole set for nobody. How about that?
Drink a beer and watch some Smallville at Snake's house.
I will watch it for myself. How about that?
So if you like to do that, why don't you like, subscribe, and comment? And he might just give you the address to come drink some beers at Snake's house. You know, you never know.
I will not. Don't hold your breath.
You never know.
I know.
And,
you mean to never know.
And if he don't give you the address, then type in the comments of how that bothers you. And then still like and subscribe. Because, you know, like and subscribe is really awesome. You know.
It bothers me. She want to come to my house. How about that?
But no, you can catch it. You could probably catch it, I think, on possibly Hulu. I want to say Hulu. Hulu technically gets all the old stuff if it's not Netflix. It's usually Netflix gets the stuff first. If it's not Netflix, it's Hulu. If it's not Hulu, then somehow Amazon Prime gets their hands on it. And that's, because I mean, it might actually be HBO Max. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who owns the rights to Smallville. So go look that up and then comment. Let me know who owns the rights, and then or we can just all go snake house. I think I'll vote on that. Is it? I think we should, because he has them. Why go through all that problem? We go his ass watch show. Watch show. Yeah, he has like the old, those old things people used to have. But it's not old for me. But for you Gen Zers, you might think that old thing, like tapes and the CD, and you gotta rub and you gotta put in there. Yeah, DVD player and DVD players and tapes and stuff. He has those things, and so it's like really nostalgic and really great to watch. So, comment. You want the address, because you might not get it. Because he's not gonna give it to you.
Since y'all talking about me and everything, they're like. You want to go on? Have y'all ever had like some food that was just so great that you actually have a conversation with it? Like it was just so good that you actually talk to it.
I think everybody has at one point.
You had that, Ray. I know you had it.
I know you had it.
Trying to say, bro.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Anyway. But I had that the other day. We went to QT. We had a donut. It was so good. I was like, I had a conversation with it. And the donut talked back. It was like I'm 95% fat and like 5% good. And I was like, me too, donut. Me too.
Oh, stupid. It's so stupid.
I hate everything.
It's so stupid.
Everything that you just did, just know that.
Dumb. All right, guys. So for Thanksgiving, that's something I'm recommend. Watch Smallville, and and look at some good dad jokes or just jokes about food from QT. Because there you go. That's good. So stupid. But if you don't want to watch something nostalgic and you just say, you know what, Spider-Man's coming, but I can't wait. I need to just jump into this universe and this powers and everything right now. Then go check out the Internals. Matter of fact, I hope you checked out the Internals. If you haven't checked out Internals, then I need you to do me a favor. I need you to pause this video. Leave here. Leave it paused. Leave. Go to the theaters or Amazon Fire Stick or whatever, VPN or whatever, and go watch the movie. Come back and unpause it. Now, if you can't because you have weird stuff happening with your phone, with your tablet, with your TV, and all that, then you can always subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Therefore, this video back up on YouTube or on Facebook. You can pull the video back up. You can click on it and find out this timestamp, which you should see exactly where we are. Because my finger's doing this right here. Therefore, you know exactly where I am because my fingers. So you see my fingers doing this. This is the timestamp, and you know exactly where I am. And then you can start this video right here because spoilers are coming. Now I know Hammer says there's no such thing spoilers, but the movie just came out. Cancel culture, people hate, they're weird. So Eternals. So let's get to it because this is the Eternals. He's crying. Blah blah blah. So this is the Eternals. All spoilers. And Snake has seen the movie faithfully, so he's ready to just break your hearts. So are you ready? Oh, who's that? All right. So let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about the Easter eggs. We're gonna talk about those ending. We talk about the ending and the post credit and the what is it called? Is it mid credit or is it before credit?
Post credit,
mid credit and post credit scenes. And we're going to talk about some characters you may know. So we're going to talk about the movie in general. The first thing that is a spoiler warning, as I said before, the first thing that caught me off guard is the fact that the Eternals are not necessarily the Eternals. Now let me explain. They're the Eternals, but they're not the Eternals from the comics, as if they're not organic beings. They're more like organic beings if you watch Dragon Ball. They're androids. And I don't know how I feel about that. At least I didn't know how I feel about it at first. When I first heard this, and they first explained this in the movie, at first I wasn't keen to it. I was like, because I was like, that's not, it didn't make sense. They're supposed to be eternal, and it was like the robot thing just kind of made it seem like it just kind of took away from it from me. I didn't buy it. But then I thought about it. This is the multiverse. But not only is the multiverse, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they're trying to set up something, and then one person's name popped in my head, Scarlet Witch. Now, why would Scarlet Witch's name pop up? This is a theory of mine, so just bear with me. You're trying to figure out a way to make robots be organic, or whatever the case may be, and make things real. Cersei, in the movie, had a relationship with a human. I believe they had kids. Therefore, now I know people, you may say, well, she's different. She's an eternal made by a celestial. So that means her power and her android-like abilities are different from that set of Vision. But is it, though? Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being. And I know I'm getting way a little bit off topic here. Just hear me out. Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being. Therefore, her power is possibly could be, technically, if we're going off the mutant thing, she's an Omega level mutant. So that technically makes her power technically on a scale of a god or a celestial. So therefore, that means if she uses her powers correctly, when she made Tommy and Billy through the, conception of her and Vision having sex, that means that Vision their kids are technically real as the kids of Cersei and, Dame Whitman. That's something to think about. So when I thought about that, I was like, okay, I can dig the android thing if that's what they're going for. If that's not, then I'd hate the whole thing. I'm sorry, I just don't. I think they should have kept them organic. It just feels like that was a cop-out. But if that's what they're going for in the long run, and I have faith in Kevin, so I'm going to go with that. This is my theory. I hope someone else have theories. Write in the comments. If that's the theory, then I'm okay with the android thing. But that was the first spoiler, is that the fact that they're androids and that they were programmed and sent there to save humans, and that was the whole thing. It also gives a reason why one goes on a deep end. Can you guess which one goes on deep end? No, Hammer? Which Eternal went on deep end? Which one? Oh, he says he doesn't know. Could it be just like what Injustice and all the other things talk about? Could it be the Superman character? Yes, it was a Superman character. It was Icarus. Go figure, right? I mean, it's a classic move. Honestly, I think in the comics, I think he went rogue as well, if I'm correct. Somebody in the comics let me know, and then let converse and talk with Snake. Maybe he'll, y'all can talk about that whole thing. 'Cause I don't know. I think he did in the comics. But in the movie, he went rogue. He technically, it's just funny, you ever wonder why in the commercial you only saw a little bit of Selma Hayek? Well, he killed her. So, yeah, he pushed her off.
You're not supposed to say that.
Well, it's a spoiler. I already told you about to do that.
It's a spoiler. You can't spoil things for people.
Kind of killed her, so, I was kind of wondering. I was
Actually, technically, he didn't kill her.
I mean, kind of, but kind of not.
He pushed her off the cliff, but he didn't kill her. She didn't die from that. She died from the deviants.
Yeah, true. Unless, now, there is something you need to know about the Eternals. In the comics, which I'm hoping they use for the actual thing, the Eternals have an ability, and they can probably make more sense with the movie and the android versions of them as well. They have this ability to where even if they die, they don't. They have like unlimited resurrections, or I forgot. And it was a video game I played where where I had this ability. If I got enough of these, it was something. I forgot what it was called. Anyway, they have unlimited resurrection. So it's kind of like they played and got to level 462, and they ended up getting like and they ended up finding all of the resurrection stones, and they was able to just continue to resurrect as long as they have those resurrection stones. That's not a thing I'm talking about. If it was a video game, that's technically how they would have it. That's technically how games are. But so if that is how they're going with it, that the one of the abilities of the Eternals is that they can constantly be resurrected because they can't die because they're eternal, then Selma Hayek's character Ajax didn't really die. Well, she did die, but she's going to come back somehow. Also, we got to look at Ursham the Judge. He's pretty cool. He didn't look at it. It's I like his what do you say? Yeah, tell me. But I think his character in the comics. Actually, you know what? I'm not too mad at the art design, the character, how they got him. I think in the comics he was a little buffer, but he's a space creature eternal thing. I don't think I can complain about who's buff and who's not buff. He's already a giant, with crazy red eyes and everything. So there's that. The fight scenes are okay. Here's something you want to know. Rotten Tomatoes didn't like it. It scored worse than, what was it? Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, I know. And which is funny because Thor was worse than it was worse than Incredible Hulk. No, Regular Hulk, because Incredible Hulk was better than Regular Hulk, and Regular Hulk was just really a really bad movie. I don't know. They didn't do it. The CGI in there was really bad. But anyway, it scored worse, but not by fans. There's two scores on Rotten Tomatoes. There's the scores of the critics, who pretty much run the whole thing, and the scores of the fans. Fans loved it. We loved it. We didn't think it was that bad of a movie. Critics pretty much tore it up, and the reason for it is that it had the same thing that was said of, what was it? I think not necessarily Thor. I would probably say Thor 1. Thor 1 had the thing of it was a rushed story as far as being a self-contained story. It focused more on the overarching world of the Marvel Universe because it was trying to piece it together to get you to the big Avengers reveal, right? And the Eternals does the same thing, and they pretty much just tore it apart. And, to Eternals' defense, it came after Spider-Man Far From Home, and you're coming after Black Panther, and you're coming after, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and the first Avenger. That's kind of that's a hard pill to swallow. It's those movies, in being a self-contained story and expanding the Marvel Universe, were just freaking amazing. And I think people, or the critics anyway, they were spoiled by that. So they expected Marvel to continue on that route, and that didn't happen with this. They were, and Shang-Chi, I guess, as well, because everyone loved that. So I think they expected that same thing, but I don't think that Marvel ever planned for Eternals to be that. I think Marvel was trying to hurry up and get Eternals to be just good enough as a self-contained, but more so a Marvel Cinematic big thing to get people going. And I think, and honestly, me personally, I think that was a good idea. Why do I say this? I think that's a good idea because of the simple fact that no one knows who the Eternals are. People want the X-Men. Just saying, we want the X-Men. That's just true. A lot of people don't know who the Eternals are. Why should we care? People care about the humans more than the Eternals. They know them more. So if you would have gave a lot of these viewers who aren't really Marvel fans to begin with, well, you have a lot more of them nowadays, but a lot of them don't know the comics. Let's just keep it real here, or a buck, as it says. Keep it a buck, or whatever. That's with my rock voice. Let's keep it a buck. I'm working on it. I'm gonna get there. Anyway, a lot of these fans will be like, "This movie's boring." They're probably like, because it's focusing on telling their individual story, and they want the action. They want to get to the point to where it ties into Loki. They want to know where it ties in with Spider-Man, because Marvel's been hyping up Loki and this multiverse and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, so that's what we want, right? So you would have self-contained. I don't know if they could have made it work. and it still be good. What do y'all think? Do y'all think it could have made it work? No? Yeah? No? Maybe? So that's my take on that. So I think, but as I said before, the fans, we still loved it. So go ahead.
I think you're kind of right. I think the release is kind of weird, being that Spider-Man is fixing to come out, and it's got Doctor Strange and the whole multiverse thing, and I think that's where it's kind of where I don't want to say the movie flopped, but I think that's kind of why people treat the Eternals like they treated it, because it's kind of like, but Spider-Man.
I don't say anything about the
fact that Spider-Man potentially is going to have, well, I don't think it's a potential thing. It's been confirmed. You got the multiverse, so you're getting multiple villains from the different Spider-Man, the 3 different Spider-Man and all of that. It's like, it's kind of like they want to push past this part because it feels boring. It's like, Spider-Man, multiverse, Tobey Maguire, Doc Ock, like that. We want that. You built up, you like you said, you had Loki where they literally like 100% dove right into the multiverse.
Yep.
And, you got, like you said, WandaVision where, they tied WandaVision into that with the whole, like, the exact same seconds or whatever at each show in the same episode. Whenever she did the thing, then, Kang was able to feel like he knew what was going on. He, like, stopped and paused, like, at the same time Wanda did her thing. Like, whenever she realized her potential and she turned into Scarlet Witch. Like, the fact that they built up all of that, Eternals just feels like.
And that's good, by the way. This is all a side note, but I didn't notice that. I didn't put those two pieces together, that when he had paused, he was referring to when she turned, and that I didn't even like catch that. That's good. That's real good.
Right up on that. Like they worked that whole deal in, like, it's perfect. I think Snake knows about it, because they literally the same minutes and seconds into that particular episode, which is the same episode, I guess, as WandaVision, to the second, whenever she realizes her potential and, like, goes, like, it turns into the Scarlet Witch, he pauses and, like, he looks off and he's just like, huh.
There's a video of it to where you can see it. They have it side by side.
Yeah, it was timed up like that on purpose.
But it's not it's not just her movie. It was another movie too.
Because he's supposed to notice the Nexus, because the Nexus works in time. Right. That's a good job. That's real good. Good, considering that's real good world building on Marvel's behalf. That's very good job on that. So that's what I think, that with the Eternals, why they focused on world building here instead of, we got story arcs for them and we learned about them, but I think they just didn't want to spend so much time on it. They wanted to build it up and send it out and give you just enough about them so you can know them, and then know more about the world building, which, and like I said, the movie isn't a bad movie. I just think the critics were just really harsh on them because they're the critics. That's their job, number one. Number two, I think they really wanted something that was akin to Spider-Man and Spider-Man and Black Panther. And it's like, those movies, are technically, to be honest, in my opinion, I think those would probably be easier to write because, Black Panther, Spider-Man, it's kind of easier to write them into a situation and tell their story. The Eternals is like, how do you tell about some space people that have been living forever, and then you got like 5 different, and one has Superman's power and another one got a Flash power, but then you got to explain why they live in. So it's just, I can understand why that can seem like it probably go over people's heads, but so I think the way they did it wasn't too bad. So I'm okay with that. Now let's talk about that mid-credit scene. I was going to go to the post-credit scene, but I think I'm going to go to the mid-credit scene first, then the post-credit scene. Mid-credit scene, first let's do the ending. On the ending, we find out that they had to come together. Icarus even came back and helped. They had forged their minds together, some mind lock, mind mold, mind, but I don't know what it's called. And then they all came together and they stopped if you don't know, the snap and all that pretty much caused all that power to cause a celestial, which is Ursula the Judge, to be born. When a celestial is born, they're pretty much like a Big Bang in a sense, to where they destroy everything. They destroy that world and stuff like that just to be born, to be powerful. Then they go on to with the other Celestials to experiment and just create new worlds because who cares? That's a world. They're Celestials. They can do what they want. And so, but the Eternals decided to go against their programming, if you want to say, and say, no, we love the humans. We're going to stop them. We're going to stop this creature from being born. Because technically, if it wasn't for Thanos and the Snap and Marvel bringing them back, the Celestial wouldn't have been born until, like, I don't know, the great times 3,000 grandkids of the X-Men or something like that were there. And then the Celestial would have been born. They would have to fight it or whatever. I don't know. But now it's about to be born now because of all that power. So they decided to stop it. They had to fight Icarus because Icarus was completely controlled by Ursham. And Ursham is a Celestial that wants more Celestials. So he's like, kill them all. And then that whole thing, then they decided to fight against it and stop the Celestial from being born. But when that happened, it made Ursham the judge, the big red dude, come down and take 3 of the Celestials, technically the main ones, and take them off to God knows where to possibly be judged. Hence the name. That wasn't a joke, but it was cool. Anyway, so with that being said, the other Eternals didn't know what happened to their buddies. Like, where are they? What's going on? And they're about to relive their lifetime in the past, trying to figure out what's going on. And then that's when 2 people pop up, Astros or Star Fox, if you know him from the comics. And I forgot the other dude's name. He's a troll. What's his name? Something the troll. Anyway, forgive me, true fans out there. Point being is that the guy that's the troll or the imp type character, he has the ability like Heimdall. I can't say names today. What's going on? Like the dude from Thor, Heimdall. I can't say his name. I'm not gonna try it again. He can pretty much. You're gonna say it on here.
No, I won't do it. I'll let you make it.
He can pretty much travel through the Bifrost. He can travel through a Bifrost type teleporter. I cannot get the name, but just like him, that guy. Name I can't say. There it is. Yeah, but yeah, there it is. So that character has that ability, and I think he probably even has the ability to travel possibly through the multiverse as well. But at the same time, I think I'm not sure if with Thor if the Bifrost works that way. So I think this is a different type of thing, but it's similar to because one thing that Marvel's trying to make known, they're trying to make known like this rainbow articulate color. They started with Thor, they did it in Ant-Man and everything else, like when people travel through different things. So I think they're trying to let you know that the multiverse is always made through these interweaving vortexes or whatnot. That's my theory. So I'm sticking to it. But the other guy who's way more important is, wait for it, in the comics, Thanos' brother. I'm not sure if that's who he is here, but
it is.
They said it in the movie that he's.
Well, they don't say it, but you know who he is.
We know who he is. But yeah, so pretty much he pretty much revealed that he's an Eternal, and as in the movie they explained that there are other Eternals on other worlds, as just like in the comics, there are other Eternals all across in the other planets everywhere, which makes me wonder if the Eternals may show up in the Captain Marvel movie, because it makes sense. She's going to be world traveling everywhere. She can run into other Eternals. Maybe Star Fox tries to hit on her, which his powers, by the way. If you don't know, the Eternals all had weird, different powers. Like I said, one had power like Flash, one had power like Superman, whatever. Everybody had their own individual powers. One had alchemy powers. Star Fox's powers, apparently they didn't show his power, but in the comics, it's the power of controlling you with love. It's not as bad as it's not Monty from Captain Planet. Heart is not that. It's not that bad. It's not.
Make you horny.
It's not. It's that, more or less. He technically can control girls and make them fall in love, but not just girls. He can make anybody fall in love with anything, like literally, just by thinking it, whatever, except Thanos. Thanos, for some reason, was immune to it. I'm not really sure why. I don't know why. Maybe it's in the comics somewhere, but he's not. He's immune. But everybody else, is technically up for grabs. He can just, hey, love her, okay, and you'll do it. It's just what happens. That's his thing, or whatever. But other than that, he's still as strong as the other Eternals. They have enhanced strength and certain enhanced speed, unless you're that one Eternal that got the Flash power. Lucky, I want that power. So like I need like the whole complete Speed Force. I would be a beast with the Speed Force. You know how amazing I would be with Speed Force? I would be like amazing. I would be like, yeah. Y'all want me with the Speed Force. Y'all want to see that. If I had the Speed Force, I can, yeah. Just know that. If I had the Speed Force, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. You don't even want the Speed Force.
Just imagine me, you know what I'm saying?
You don't even want the Speed Force, sir. You don't even want it.
Because I'm just so fast, I don't need it. Psst.
Oh, here you go.
I need no Speed Force. Psst. Speed Force look like a snail to me.
Oh, jeez. Nah, here you go. To me. But, so he tells them that he knows where the other Eternals are. And I guess he's going to take them there. Then at the end it says, and then, so also it says the Eternals are coming soon. So, so the director said that she doesn't know if she's going to have any more. A sequel isn't needed. Like, she doesn't necessarily need to make a sequel, but, she could have sent that for marketing because Marvel, hey, we'll pay you another $5 million if you tell them that you're maybe not going to do a sequel. Okay, I'm not probably going to do a sequel. Write the check, put it in your pocket or on your phone or whatever you do with checks and stuff nowadays. But that's what I think happened. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so there's that. So now we're going to know that. Then it goes to Damon Whitman, which you guys know as Jon Snow, from the Night Watch. I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones. Nope. Maybe you do, but not you. We're talking to fans. Not talking to you.
I never watched it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. But pretty much, he walks into a room and he finds this mysterious sword. A mysterious sword.
No.
And then he finds this mysterious sword. Then he's getting ready to get this mysterious sword. And then
into his uncle's room. God, come on.
Still a mysterious sword. It's still a mysterious sword. It's still this. I can still do mysterious sword. Because it is. Mysterious sword. Because we see it and only certain fans know what it is. But everybody else is like, what is that thing? Why is he getting the sword? What does that mean? And then you hear a voice. Now, I can't do the new Blade's voice. I'm gonna try to do old Blade. No, I ain't gonna do it because I can't do it right now. It sound like really weird. Probably sound like a Christian Bale Batman. I ain't gonna even try it. Like, how you gonna do that? But anyway, but that's how it would sound. So I'm not gonna do that. But he pretty much asked him. He said, "Mr. Whitman, are you sure you want to do that?" Then it fades out, which I think is dope. Now, why is that dope? And you heard me. I said it. Blade. There's the last spoiler. So, and you're probably wondering, why would he ask him that? Because that sword is the Ebony Blade. And the Ebony Blade belongs to the Black Knight. If you know who the Black Knight is, and you know about the Ebony Blade, then you know it's so much stories to go on. But why would Blade be there in the Eternals movie of all things? Well, I can pretty much answer that question. They answered when they talked about the Black Knight and his relationship to Blade in the comics. Technically, they were on the same. I think Emergency Awesome did it. They were on the same team at one point in one of the British comics. They were on the M13 squad, and pretty much it was a squad that got put together when the Skrulls took over. So they were together. It was like the British Avengers or whatever the case may be, and they went around pretty much finding who was the Skrull, who wasn't, when the Skrulls were bad and things like that. And they just went around hunting people like that. The Black Knight was on the same team there, so I think that may be how they're going to introduce Blade through that, because we know the Skrulls are a thing. We know the Skrulls have infiltrated. But we saw good Skrulls, so we don't know if there are any bad Skrulls out there. This whole thing is kind of making so while in space, we're dealing with the Eternals threat. Maybe in the multiverse going on with Spider-Man and all that, maybe the multiverse is going to change how the good scrolls that Nick Fury put down here have turned evil because of the whole Doctor Strange and WandaVision and the multiverse changes and stuff like that. And maybe they've infiltrated the entirety of the Earth, and now we need Blade, Black Knight, and whoever else to come and figure it out. Maybe in the future, maybe the new Black Panther, you know what I'm saying, which is, it's his sister. If you don't know, just letting you know that, that was a spoiler, I'm sorry. But it's his sister. So just letting you guys know that. But anyway, if you want to watch a movie, this would be the great time to watch a movie. You want to wait till Thanksgiving where it might be cheaper, a little cheaper, a little colder. You can go with your family, probably sneak some apple pie into the movie theater. I don't know why you would do that. It seems sloppy. It seems like it'd be like gooey and mess up all your clothes. I wouldn't do it. But maybe that's what you do. Maybe sneak a whole turkey inside the movie theater. Don't know. Maybe you'll watch it at home with a VPN.
A VPN?
Or maybe a, Fire Stick. Or something like that. I don't know. What are those things? But I recommend, like I said before, if you want to watch something at home, want to watch something nostalgic, watch Smallville. This is the first recommendation. Second recommendation, watch The Eternals. And, while you're at it, go watch Shang-Chi. It's a movie's pretty good too. Some good family movies. I don't know. Are they family movies? Yeah, they're family movies, yeah. We're men, we're nerdy, and those are family movies. We don't have Die Hard, so watch this. Oh, here you go. It's Disney. Can't use that. That's cheating. That's totally cheating. It's Disney. It's Disney. No, it's not classic Disney. Speaking of Disney, I can tell you why it's not classic Disney. Matter of fact, I almost forgot. So apparently, and Snakes are going to probably go on a rant about this, but I don't care. So apparently, this is the first true, I'm going to do this because for Snake, true sex scene in a Marvel movie. Apparently, this is the first. So, yes, I know I spoiled that too. Go watch it. I don't think you'll be. It depends how deep you are into sex scenes or what movies you watched.
I wouldn't go into a rant about something that didn't happen. Sex scene, nothing. I didn't see nothing. It's only a sex scene if you see something. No, okay. First off,
for Disney.
Look, I need to wait until I see it, in like the full effect, because I was watching it on the Fire Stick and it was kind of bootlegged, so it was dark. So I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again. I'll watch it again.
But you gotta remember, this is Disney. Even if they didn't show anything, it's still Disney, as you said. So there's something there. I don't think Disney would just allow, Monsters Ball or anything like that to go on. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Disney's going to do that. I just don't. I mean, if Disney ever do that, I'd be like, bro, what's going on with y'all? Something, y'all okay over there? Like, who's in there? Be like his cousin, one cousin Bob and the guy in there was like, bro, I just thought that's what y'all wanted on the screen. I didn't think that y'all, I just said, hey, it'd be good if those two did that. They did it, And it made it to print. I didn't edit it out. You're supposed to edit it out.
Edit what out? I ain't nothing. That's Halle Berry.
So Disney, don't get Halle Berry in your Marvel movies, because everybody's gonna want to see her naked, apparently. Or Sanaa Lathan. Don't get her in there. Definitely don't get her in there, because the eyes like yeah.
Well, I don't know. She's been tripping lately, cutting her hair off and stuff.
It's still. I thought she ain't grew it back yet. Not yet.
I don't know.
And you can see what happens. He break up with her, and then we don't get to see her no more. Oh man. See?
Well, maybe.
And Hammer shaking his head. Hammer's like, I would never break up my celebrity crush. You stupid. Like, you dumb. If it was me, I wouldn't do it.
Hey,
my celebrity crush, I wouldn't break up.
Stop doing stupid shit.
And on that note, people, we will catch you guys next time. So, if you haven't already, if you're new to this channel, this is stupid. I don't know I'm doing it. So I've been checking so I know that on this channel, it seems like only 50% of you have subscribed. So I need the other 50% to, that's not true, because I don't know. I don't know the metrics. I think Snake knows the metrics. I was going to say make a metric. And only 90% of you like this page. So if you can do me a favor and like this page, no. But really, if you guys can like, subscribe, and comment. And where are my live people that like to talk? You guys not talking to me. You don't like to talk to me.
I haven't seen nobody.
I don't like to talk to me.
We ain't had no views all night. I don't think anybody tuned in tonight.
Because what is everybody doing? They're watching their channels. Good job. Thank you guys for watching the channels. Good job. Please watch the replay of this if you can. So if you're seeing me point at you, it means you should watch replay. That means you're already watching it. So thank you for watching the replay. And like, subscribe, and tell your mama right there, and your cousin, your brother now, and all them to like, subscribe too, and save this bell notification so they can get more content like this guy and those guys over in whatever direction you see them in. So with that said, I'm your boy Mingo-Dee. That be Snake, and that be Hammer, and we are Getting Nerdy, and we'll holler at you guys on Primetime and Nerd Nation. Okay? I was gonna say okay, bye, but it don't sound right when I say it, so.
Okay, bye.